So I'm very glad to be here with all of you today. So happy to see so many familiar faces. So it's actually a strange meeting not to be to meet live, but it's still good to meet at least virtually with so many colleagues whom I have had the chance to meet before live. So today I would like to present you something really interesting from ProQuest, and these are actually new models for content acquisitions, which I value very much as a former librarian, because these are the most cost-effective solutions for libraries, especially for libraries from our countries where the budgets are never enough, and where we have to do miracles with these budgets, trying to cover the needs, the information needs, demand of so many different faculties and so many different subject areas. So our new models are called Build and Access, your wish list of primary source collections. Do you see my second slide?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to be sure that the slides are moving correctly. So what do we call primary sources? All librarians know that these are actually the originals of all documents or of all mixed media documents. So when we speak about primary sources from ProQuest, we mean all the original books, journals, newspapers, videos, academic videos, and any type of other dissertations, thesis, etc., any type of documents you could imagine. ProQuest is very well known, and probably you know this because of the vast collection of primary sources. Of course, other publishers also have some products of similar topic, but ProQuest unique collections are deeper and wider in coverage because we are offering full runs of titles containing materials that were never digitized before. And this is something very interesting to mention. Our full runs of different kinds of series, magazine archives, or newspapers, etc., are so comprehensive that even some of the original holders of the information buy their materials back from us because our collections are more complete. This slide is showing data from the very beginning of this year, but in fact, we are proud to inform you that currently we offer over 300 million pages of primary source materials. And these are including now 400 years of historical periodical coverage with the most comprehensive index, a world-class archive of news and newspapers, the most complete collection of US and UK government documents, and much more. Primary sources are useful in many different ways to everybody, to researchers, to lecturers, to students, because they derive new ways of looking at all things. With primary sources, you can follow a concept from the very beginning of appearing of a specific phenomena to yesterday's publications. So the primary sources are also assisting with the joy of this serendipitous discovery because they are meeting a really large range of research needs. And I'm saying this as a researcher myself as well. So using ProQuest primary source resources, researchers can tag and trend a topic through time, as I said, from the very beginning of appearance to nowadays. And using, on top of this, our secondary sources, researchers could keep fingers on pulse of research directions. So what we provide, are easy access to unique, hard to find primary sources in 5 major programs: government documents, historical primary sources, historical books, historical periodicals, historical newspapers. Our collections are curated and follow the trends in dissertations and research output. We are building products for libraries to support the research that their researchers want and need to conduct. Our collections are built for you. For libraries especially, we bring much more value, because what you can do with these resources, it's a guaranteed evidence-based purchase. It's especially these new models which we have developed are offering greater value for the dollars you are spending with us. And I will come back to this in my key slides. Besides, with the new models we are providing for acquisition of primary sources, we offer you a budget clarity on annual spent amounts. It's interesting for me to know whether you are providing or where are you able to provide the many different content types that your researchers need. I could understand that it's not always possible because the budgets are always limited. Maybe you have other problems as well. Maybe you are facing a space reclamation projects. With our primary sources, which are offering digitized content of probably many, if not almost all of your series collections of newspapers, news journals, magazine archives, we can address the library goals and initiatives also on space reclamation. With these primary sources offerings, we are also offering you a solution for preservation of disappearing governmental documents or official country reports and other documents. So there are many advantages which ProQuest resources and especially our new models can provide. Because these resources are providing complete and comprehensive digital replacement than was held in physical format. Just few words about the importance of primary sources for faculties when they teach. Here is the summary. I'm just providing 2 slides as a summary of the study from JISC in the United Kingdom that backs up what you know about primary sources, developing critical thinking skills for students, specifically highlighting these 3 areas: inspiring new thinking, improving the results of study and research, narrowing or broadening or changing the focus of study and teaching. In this research which has been run in 2018, we had hundreds of respondents answering the question about the reasons why faculty assign primary sources in teaching. When asked about the content types they assign in teaching, if faculty indicated any primary source content types, they were giving the question that asked about the reasons they assigned them and how important those reasons were. My slide is not moving. Now, this chart shows how often faculty are assigning primary sources in their teaching at both lower and upper division of undergraduate institutions. And you can see that in the master programs, PhD programs, the percentage of usage of primary source materials is really much higher. But even in the undergraduate courses, you see percentages of 80% use of primary source materials for teaching. You can see that, interestingly, for films, audios, artwork, and other non-textual sources, the percentage of usage in master programs and PhD programs is 82% as well. In order for customers to understand the wide range of materials we have in our primary source collections, we saw some themes naturally emerging, and some of those are on the screen for you, like Black history or Indigenous studies, women and gender studies, global studies, military, diplomatic history, arts, literature, music, dance, newspapers, periodicals, and much more. So we are selecting products mainly in 5 major areas, which are history, social sciences, news and periodicals, arts, and literature. ProQuest has developed the so-called unified wheel that shows what subjects are covered and how products roll up into the subjects. But maybe you have seen this wheel many times already. So I will now jump to presenting of the real new models, which I find most relevant for Eastern Europe. That's why I will present 2 of our various new acquisition models. The first model is the so-called access only, access to a primary source library. And this is the so-called foundation collection, which is the cheapest possible option for libraries. With this model, libraries can choose from 183 highly used databases worldwide. So we have selected the databases which are mostly used worldwide that cover key subject disciplines and themes in the humanities, history, and social sciences. These databases are fixed. The list of products is fixed. You cannot pick and choose here products, but we tried to include, as I mentioned, the most used ProQuest plus Alexander Street key primary sources. Which are these? You see on the slide after the one I'm showing now. What are the benefits of this model to academic institutions? The first benefit is that these are world-class resources at very attractive prices. For comparison, I could tell you that for the price of this model, which means, once again, accessing of 183 databases, for the price of this access model, of this, to this foundation collection, Just as a comparison, you may be able to subscribe about maybe 2-3 collections, depending on the size of the collections or respectively the price, 2, 3 to 4 collections maximum. The second benefit is that databases align to many course curricula and are multidisciplinary in nature. The content of these collections supports all the areas of research, teaching, and learning. So they are relevant for all the players on academic field, faculty, researchers, and students. These collections offer a diverse and comprehensive material, primary source material that supports the content diversity, which is always a mission and a task of any library. The other benefit is that more collections are added to this list every year, and this is now the list of the products pre-selected in this foundation collection. So you can see that we cover history very, very broadly. And here you can see US history, UK history, Black history, but also international history and global studies. You can see that I have highlighted in red some titles which I find the most relevant and actually the most popular in Eastern Europe, like Human Rights Studies Online, Disability in the Modern World, Food Studies Online, Environmental Issues Online, in Economic Intelligence Unit, etc. We cover Indigenous people history as well, women's history, very strong subject lately in our countries as well. With all these collections, which you can see highlighted here, like Women and Social Movements, Women's Magazine Archive, British and Irish Women's Letters and Diaries, Harper's Bazaar, Vogue Italia Archive, etc. These collections are very much used, and they are really international. And not only so US or UK oriented. On top of this, you see coverage of military and diplomatic history. A lot of information is available there about Europe or from Europe. Then military history, cultural history with key titles like the Entertainment Industry Magazine Archive, or early modern history with early English books online, then social sciences, political sciences, gender studies, very strong represented, social work. The arts are also very well represented with film studies, with art, architecture and design and photography, with performance design, and with drama, theater, etc. Besides, you can find so many newspapers collections, a lot of US regional, but also a lot of international newspapers. It's worth to mention some key titles which are popular in Eastern Europe, like Boston Globe, the Globe and Mail, Guardian and Observer, Irish Times, Jerusalem Post, Scotsman, South China Morning Post, Toronto Star, Times of India, etc. And again, very popular collections within our historical periodicals collections, like the Periodical Archives online collections from 1 to 10, Periodicals Index online, American periodicals, British periodicals, Religious Magazine Archive, Education Magazine Archive, News, Policy, Politics Magazine Archive, etc. So just to summarize about this model, it is a fixed list of products for a fixed price, and you can get access to all of these collections for 12 months. If you would like to renew for a second year, you can get additional 5 or to 10 databases added to the collection. The other option is something what is a little bit more expensive, but librarians like it because it offers access to collections which from which you can choose some to own, to keep for perpetuity, on perpetuity at the end of the subscription period. This is very popular between librarians because a few reasons. First thing, you can create your own list, your own wish list out of a list of over 300 collections from us. You can choose the ones which cover mostly the various information needs of many faculties. The recommendation, my personal recommendation with this model is first to choose, let's say, the top 10 must-have products from ProQuest and Alexander Street, and add to those additional 40 products which are nice to have, but for which you know that you probably never have the budget to subscribe them in the near future. With this, you will please many different departments because you can choose from all subject areas. The second reason why our librarians, our clients like this model is because of the chance to use every cent of the money which you have spent to the access and use this money to keep some resources of your choice from the list of products which you have chosen for perpetual rights. There is a formula how exactly this works, where 67% of the money which you have paid goes against purchase. You can use that money. But in this case, we offer to you 33% discount on list prices. And with this, actually, we give you the chance to use every single cent of what you have spent to purchase products. With this model, actually, you can decide to purchase even more products, even more if, for example, there is a project, funding project running at the library, and during your 12 months subscription period, at once you find out that there is some more budget available, you could take advantage of purchasing other resources, even outside of the program, still using this 33% special discount, which we usually cannot offer for purchases. And one more benefit. This year, we are offering 50% discount on selected promotional products within our COVID support to libraries. And in a case that you have chosen to purchase, to keep on purchase some resources which are on that promotional product list, you can take advantage of the 50% discount instead of 33%. And this would bring you even more value. So imagine you are paying 15,000 or 20,000 for this model. So for this, actually with the bigger discount, which we could offer for many of the products, in fact, you would be able to purchase products which value is much higher than the value, than the amount which you have already paid. The new thing with this model is that there is no multi-year commitment. You can just decide to go for 12 months, but if you want, you can extend this, and every year you get 5 new products added to this plan. So year by year, if you decide to continue, so first year you can have 50 databases on access, next year 55, the third year 60, etc. So this is a summary of these 2 new models, which are most relevant for our countries because their prices are actually the lowest possible prices of all the different variations of the new acquisition models which we currently offer. So with this, I would like to thank you and welcome any questions you might have.
Thank you very much, Krasi. Veľmi pekne ďakujem. Ja pripomínam, že môžete otázky písať do toho četovacieho okna questions and answers, kľudne v češtine alebo v slovenčine. Máme kolegyne, ktoré to prednášajúcemu potom preložia, takže čakáme, či sa nejaká otázka neobjaví. Medzi tým ja len veľmi stručne zhrniem, je neodškriepiteľné, že primárne zdroje sú dôležité, a to predovšetkým v tých vedných odboroch, ktoré tam mala Krasi zobrazené. Takže je veľmi užitočné vedieť o tom, z akých rôznych zdrojov môžu či už študenti, ale i vedeckí pracovníci čerpať informácie, tak povediac z prvej ruky. Digitalizácie týchto starých dokumentov, vrátane starých tlačí sú vždy veľmi vítanými aktivitami. Tak sa ešte raz pýtam na tie otázky, či sa medzi tým niečo neobjavilo.
Máme jednu otázku. Krasi, I have one question for you. What happens if a customer wants to renew their subscription for another 12 months? Is it possible to select new collections to replace the ones which have been purchased, or how it works?
Yes, you can select new collections to replace the ones you have purchased, plus you get additional collections added to the model, to this model every year. So if you go for 1 year's subscription period for access only, so you can you get added new collections to that pre-selected list of products. If you go for access to own model with these 50 products, you may even decide to select truly new 50 collections if you prefer. So this is the new thing with being more flexible with our new acquisition models.
Thank you, Krasi. That's all.
Ďakujeme.